feel like somebody should be here.
Well, I don't have a third chair and also be a really tiny person because look where our knees are. I mean, we can have somebody like sit back here and like stare over us like a leprechaun or something.
No.
Should we get a stuffed animal?
No.
I got pillows.
No.
Welcome back to Drunk on Writing and the very first episode of the Drunk on Writing show, the official launch of the Drunk on Writing show. I'm pretty excited. That was part of the very recent Drunk on Writing 3.0 launch. Let's play that trailer right here. No, I'm not going to do that because I realized way too late that the 2.0 trailer was up far too long. I can't imagine going to the page over and over again and just getting that music playing because it was loud music in that 2.0 trailer launch. So, I've taken that kind of feedback into consideration. I'm not going to do that. Maybe I'll go to black there. This is a very first episode. I'm, of course, joined by my lovely wife, Kim, for our kind of conversational podcast. It's a video series. It's kind of building on what we had. It was a patron exclusive, the Video Club, which is now sort of the back half of the show. And in that, we would alternate picking out movies, and then we would talk about them. And we would that was pretty much it. We incorporated comments, and it was fun. It was a nice little thing. But problem being, we ran into this thing earlier on in the year when we ran the isolation specials. And that was a lot of fun because we got a lot more feedback. And I kind of liked that. And we came back and the views dropped significantly. So I wanted to build on that. I thought people liked that, might like this.
Yeah.
And that brought us here. So thanks for, joining us. I feel a little out of breath after saying that. It was a long-winded speech. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. So, Kim, how you doing?
Good.
Yeah?
Yes.
How you feeling?
Great.
Yeah, you're excited about this?
I am.
Excellent.
Yes.
I'm feeling awesome as well. Thank you for asking.
Yes.
Yeah.
He wasn't yesterday.
No, I had a bad weekend. I was not feeling well this weekend. My stomach was just like, now it kind of kicked my butt. It's still slightly lingering today, but we're on the path of mending. Yeah. So, yes, thank you for letting everybody know about that there inside. So what you been watching or reading or playing?
What have I been watching? I've been watching Great British Bake Off.
Are there new episodes right now? Is that what's happening?
Yes. I've been watching Halloween Wars with Matthew.
That's the cake show.
That's the cake show.
Yeah, he likes that.
He does.
Matthew being our son, who he likes. Do you think he wants to eat the cake or he wants to make the cake?
No, I don't think he cares about the cooking at all. I think he likes the gore. I think he likes the Halloween.
Gore?
Yeah, because everything's like bloody and like eyeballs are coming out of the cakes.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I gotta look at these cakes.
Oh, they're like really.
Really?
Yeah, yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
There's pumpkin carvers who do crazy.
People do.
Yeah.
The things that people get away with on
There's
those pumpkins.
sugar artists. It's quite involved. But new girl. That's it, I think.
Yeah, I randomly asked you the other day.
Yep.
Do you want to watch New Girl again with me? And I was like, I kind of been feeling New Girl. I think I saw some Twitter, or it was maybe a BuzzFeed article. It was like 20 jokes from New Girl to remind you how funny it was or something. Yeah. To that regard. And I was just like, I want to watch that again.
And you've been laughing.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's a funny show, and I don't remember it well enough. Like, I remember vague little inches, but like I know how the relationships turn out, but I don't remember the nuances, and so like they're getting me.
But which is funny because I don't think I can't remember the last time you laughed like that at a television show.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, and we've been watching the firefighter show. I can't think of the name of it. Tacoma FD.
Yes, I kept Reno 911 was popping into my head.
I don't.
I was like,
I hate that. No.
Yeah.
Nope, I don't. Yeah.
So we've been watching that. I also watched, I think you watched it too, the first episode of Westworld. I'd heard a lot of good things about Westworld, And so I was like, oh, the other night I was kind of feeling it. I was kind of feeling up. Did not like it.
No,
I did not enjoy it.
It was okay.
It was fine.
It was fine.
Yeah, but so I found out today it's by the same team that did Person of Interest, and so that got me interested.
Slow start.
Yeah, slow start, and maybe build into it, and might really get pumped into it. So I want to watch the second episode and see how it goes. And
well, that happened with us with Stranger Things.
That's true.
We weren't feeling the first episode of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And by the third episode.
The second episode happened, we were like, no. And then we just kept going.
By the third episode, we didn't have kids then. We couldn't have because we binged it. How did that work? Did we have kids?
I think Matthew might have been very young, so he was sleeping a lot.
No, we sat there all day. Maybe he was at my mom's. I don't know. But anyway.
I don't know. Yeah, imagine being able to do that today.
What?
Yeah, so watching that, I've been playing a lot of Geometry Wars, which is just a fun shoot 'em up on PlayStation. I think it's pretty much anywhere. Finished off Witcher 3, which was fantastic. Been playing a lot of Fortnite with this Marvel season. That's a lot of fun. And I just finished reading Christine, and we'll have a dissection on that soon. Well, the book dissection is already up. The film dissection is coming soon. I finished writing it. I just need to film it and do all the editing. And editing on the videos always takes longer, so we'll see where that comes from. So I think that's pretty much all I've really been doing. So why don't we dive into the topics for today, because that's kind of what I want to do. I want to do the little intro, bust into a topic, go back and forth, kind of discuss it. And especially for this show, the topic that it started off out of a conversation that we were just having the other night. And this conversation specifically is about this show, the Drunk on Writing show, where we were trying to figure out what exactly should this format be. Originally, what I wanted to do, I wanted it to be far more involved. I wanted to do a cocktail kind of every episode, maybe follow that book that's over here, that 500 cocktails. And I think we could still kind of do that from time to time if we're feeling it.
Yeah.
Wanted to do that. Wanted to each of us bring a topic into the show to talk about. Yeah. And then do a patron supplied topic, and then do another patron topic, and then the video club. And you were just like, stop. It's too much.
Too much.
And once I started listing it out like that, I did realize that you were right. It was far too much. I don't know what I was thinking, but trying to come up with, just a lot of content that people might enjoy. And then I thought maybe, we could splice it up a little bit and kind of publish it in segments, but by the topic. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know how that works.
My thought on that is I personally don't like watching things that are 45 minutes. I don't have the time. I just don't have the time for that.
But you can listen to this also.
I can listen to it. Well, even that. Yeah. I mean, I really try to. I like the podcast Armchair Expert, Dax Shepard.
Okay. Now, what do you like about that podcast?
I enjoy who he has on. It's very insightful. It gets very deep at times and self-reflective. It's hard. I think it must take me 2 weeks to listen to one episode.
How long are the episodes?
I don't know. They're an hour and a half to 2 hours.
It takes you 2 weeks to listen to it?
Yeah. Because I don't have the
You don't have the time during the day.
I don't have time.
You're always on the meetings and whatnot.
I'm always on meetings during the day. So for my 8 to 5 is taken up. Mm-hmm. And then after, I'm not going to run through my schedule, but it's just,
and then when we go through walks, we're usually together, or the kids are there, and you can't really listen to a podcast with any of that going on.
I really don't have time. I don't have time. Period. I just don't have time.
So, in terms of this show, I know it might be a little bit longer for you, but, some of the other videos, I've had hour-long shows on here at this point. I think maybe a little longer. I think I try to keep it under that hour threshold if I can. It just, depends on the topics. And that's also why I at one point, I split up the Stephen King dissections because they were getting way too long-winded. But they're very good and people like them, so it works out. But for this show specifically, I agreed with you. As soon as you said it, you pointed it out, and I was listing everything. I said, we got to cut it back a little bit. So what this is currently, and we'll see how this works out, and let us, know in the feedback. Leave a comment below and let us know how this sounds to you. Is last month I picked the movie that we're going to talk about this month. Kim brought the main topic that we're going to talk about this month. So my thought is, going forward, we do like we did with the video club. We just alternate.
Sure.
So like next month, we'll talk about your movie.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about my topic and just flip-flop in just like that. And so we always bring something new to the table.
Sounds good to me.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Hopefully that sounds good to you. And, maybe we can sneak one of those cocktails in every now and again. And I was thinking, we had that little discussion earlier about somebody should be sitting here and it might be a little weird. But I did think that maybe it'd be fun if we could have maybe some alternating chairs sometimes. Other people come in. Not currently, obviously. But once things kind of settle down and the ship is righted, that we have guests and either you can tag out or I can tag out, and we could run the episode that way, or we can do 3 of us or more. At that point, it's harder for me to film and mic and everything, especially with the equipment that we have now.
Yeah.
But I think that with 3 people would probably be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all you got? Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so distracted. I need to look at the monitor.
All right, so with that, why don't we move on to the next topic, patron supplied topic. Now, it's basically good versus bad film adaptations. What makes a good film adaptation of a book? And I kind of teased this in the behind the scenes that went up for patrons earlier today. Actually, I filmed it last week, losing all sense of time. But I mentioned that you had taken a class at one point about film adaptations. Do you remember, like, what was there, like, a theory behind what could make a good film adaptation?
So, we did a lot of comparing the book and the movie, and we always had to say, which one we liked better. And spoilers, it was always the book. But it was always the book.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Always the book.
Every time?
I think the only time we didn't was Shawshank.
You thought the movie was better?
The movie?
I agree with that one.
Yeah. But I think the general consensus was when it stays true as possible to the book, right? They don't go. There's some film adaptations that are totally different. Like, what? That happened? When?
So that got me thinking. One of the most hotly debated film adaptations is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, which is so radically different than the book, but people swear by the film. It very thinly followed the plot of the novella, but it added so much ambiance, so much subtlety.
Yeah.
And I personally like the movie more than the adaptation, or than the novel. And I really enjoyed the more recent adaptation from like the 90s that more closely followed the novella or novel. Shining's a novel that more closely followed the novel, but there was a magic lost, and I really like The Shining. So I don't think it necessarily has to follow everything or have the exact same plot lines.
So I think it's up to the individual. I don't think there's a right answer. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, because I think some people are going to be true to the book and that's it. They love the book. Or, they prefer the movie and what the movie did. And how much creative, independence did the director take with the story? I mean,
I want to look at my posters for a second because I was trying to think of some of my favorite movies. I think have been book adaptations.
Yeah.
And the movies that I think really come to mind are like Jurassic Park, which was one that I loved as a kid. I really liked Congo, which was a terrible movie. It's a terrible book, really.
Yeah.
At the same time, but I really think that the movies have to capture what is great about a movie. This is what bothers me about the adaptation. All right, so you got the novel and it's a book.
Yeah.
It's a story as told through a book. I think what you have to do for a good adaptation is take the story and apply it to the cinematic medium, the cinema, and take it because a book you can do a lot more with. You can add plot lines. You can tell a character's entire history. You can't really do that effectively sometimes on a film and keep it straightforward plot wise. So you gotta pick and choose and add some subtlety and add some things that may not have been in the novel and forego some of the stuff that was in the novel. You see this a lot with like the Harry Potter films where they just cut entire sections. I don't necessarily think that was the right thing to do. But they cut a bunch of sections because they wanted to center on the main story.
Well, I think the challenge also is length. They have to choose the right things to cut about, like you said, like the history of something, but still get the main points across that you need to know to understand what's happening. And I think some movies have failed at that, but I'm arguing with myself in my head right now because I do think it really, it's opinion based. It can be debated.
Sure.
Well,
what are some of your favorite book to film adaptations? And follow-up questions, which adaptations do you remember that missed the mark entirely? I'll let you think about that one for a second. So, and I'll talk about one of my favorites. What was it? I lost it. Oh, I completely lost it. So we got all the Michael Crichtons, which are phenomenal. Oh, The Beach. That's what it was. Okay. So I love The Beach the book, and I love The Beach the movie. The two of them are completely different. It's American versus British. It's 80s versus 90s. It's a whole different kind of culture, and there's a lot of Vietnam allegory in the novel that is not at all really in the movie, but they're just so great. What makes the book great is this epic story. It seems really personal. It's this intensity, and like it's an exploration of depression and anxiety and all these things. What makes the movie great is just it captures the visual nature of that region of the world, the kind of chaotic nature of tourists coming in and taking over, and then just the solitude that can be found on this beach, and just even the idea that is wrought with terror, like the idea that you can never really escape from it. So like when I look at the stuff, these adaptations that are great, I keep coming back to they don't necessarily follow the book.
No, I think a lot of times they try to walk a fine line. I think my favorite has to be Stand By Me.
Yeah, that's a very good answer.
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorites. I really enjoyed the book. I really enjoyed the movie.
And that really kind of follows along with the story. The film version, like it cuts out some of the other like story examples and whatnot, and kind of simplifies the character interactions and adds a lot to the character Ace. Though there's a lot of story elements that were added in. Yeah, that's a really good answer.
Stand By. I mentioned it before, but I really did like Shawshank.
I mean, who doesn't like Shawshank?
But even the book, Well, I mean, I enjoyed the book.
The book was fine. The book was fine for what it is. The movie, I just think, is the better version of that tale.
It's absolutely the better version.
And simply just because there was a consolidation of characters, it was a lot more subtle in a lot of ways. There was a lot more implied, whereas in the book it got rather graphic.
I'm like trying to think of that. I took this class in high school and we watched some pretty amazing stuff, but there was, I don't think there was anything that I disliked. I don't think there was anything I hated about, of everything that we watched and read. The Great Train Robbery.
Mm-hmm. Was that one was based on Michael Crichton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Jurassic Park was another one.
So you can't think of any that really missed the mark for you? Because I got one that came immediately to mind.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dark Tower.
Well,
so you never read the Dark Tower. You watched the movie though.
I couldn't tell you who's in it, what it's about.
So Dark Tower is a perfect example of what can go wrong with film adaptations, where they try to take 7 volumes of 7 books that are, God, I gotta say that's probably like 7,000 pages almost. Like they're pretty long, maybe 6,000. I don't know. It's a lot of pages, and to try to condense all of that into one movie, and it kind of it took a little bit of it and kind of compressed it down. But the whole like history and the ideas and everything was tried to pack into this movie. But it also was supposed to serve as a sequel to the book series. It was really wonky. And I thought the casting was great. I thought the effects were pretty awesome. But then just the writing was just terrible. Like the whole plot and the whole pacing and everything was just bad. Yeah. And you would think that you have this great source material to do something with it.
Yeah.
That's a problem with a lot of Stephen King works, especially kind of after I'm at Christine right now, and I feel like we're at the start of the decline here, yeah. Which there wasn't much before it, so it's kind of funny. But he's known for his bad adaptation. I mean, remember Under the Dome?
I think a lot of the Stephen King movies that I've watched with you are pretty bad.
Yeah,
pretty bad.
Yeah. See, I like Children of the Corn. I liked. I know you didn't like the woman in there. We talked about that in a previous episode of the Video Club. I think that's where it was.
Listen, another one that comes to mind, and I have not seen this movie in many years, so I'm not giving it justice, but To Kill a Mockingbird was really good.
I don't think I ever read that or watched that.
I liked the book better. I know that because what stands out when I think of To Kill a Mockingbird, what stands out for me is the book, not the movie.
Really?
Yeah. And when I remember a book more than the movie, that's saying something. Mm-hmm. So I think that, right? Even if you just go based on what's a good film adaptation, what do you remember more, the movie or the book?
Yeah, I guess which one becomes like, when you say the name, which one do you refer to?
Yeah.
In your head. Yeah.
For me, it's
I like that. That's a really good. Which one of the which version is the one that you remember?
What do you think about when it comes to mine? Because To Kill a Mockingbird, I think of the book.
Well, then I think of something like Blade Runner, where the book and the movie are very different, or The Running Man, where the book and the movie are wildly different. So much. I mean, they're both about game shows, and one's Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's just.
But even if they're different, you still like one more than the other. It's still an adaptation of that story.
I think I like both in that case.
Well, I don't know what to tell you about that.
All right, so that was a good discussion, though. Yeah, that got us a little heated, a little excited. That was fun. Not heated. That was the wrong word. Excited.
Okay.
So we have one more topic, a patron exclusive topic, where we're going to play 20 questions with you, and we have a fun little history on why we're going to play 20 questions as I introduce it, because that'll be fun. But that will be the patron exclusive. So we're going to record that after we talk about our video club pick for this month. Lights out.
Lights out.
Lights out. I picked this one and I couldn't figure out why.
Yeah.
So I had this in my Just Watch app. It was listing it. It was saying, I want to watch this. And I remember adding it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't remember why. I was like, did somebody tweet about this? Did somebody like recommend this? So I went on Twitter and actually searched to see if somebody recommended that I follow. And no, nobody recommended it. I think what happened is I watched the original short film at some point after it originally came out, and then learned, for whatever reason that I watched that, I also learned that there was a movie version of it. And then I liked the short film, and so added the film version to my watch list. So that I think that's the reason why I wanted to see this, or why I chose this originally, why I wanted to watch this originally. I chose it simply for this month because I thought it was kind of a scary movie in premise.
Yeah. Did you like it?
Before we get to did I like it, we gotta follow the traditions here.
Your dad joke?
Well, I gotta tell the joke.
Okay.
I gotta tell the joke.
Let's
Kim.
hear it.
All right, so for Lights Out, of course, I felt like I should do like dark related jokes. Okay? So here is today's joke, and I have an alternate if you don't think the first one's funny. Okay? Why is dark spelled with a K instead of a C? Because you can't see in the dark.
Okay.
Should I read the backup? All right. Why were the early days of history called the Dark Ages? Because there were so many nights.
Oh my god. Where does he find them?
Hey,
they really are dad jokes.
I bring them in it's you know what it is? I look for jokes online, and it's usually the one that I go with is the first one that makes me giggle. And that, because that's what I want. I don't want to, ooh, like that kind of laugh. I don't want to, I don't want to like a piercing, I'm going to die from laughter laugh. I want a good giggle to just kind of feel good as we're going into the video club.
Okay.
Yeah, so my pick this month was Lights Out, a 2016 film directed by David F. Sandberg in his directorial debut, based on a 2013 short film of the same name. It grossed $148 million at the box office against a budget of $4.9 million. So they made their money back. They made their money back so well that within a week, what did I say? I don't know. It's a 2016 film. I don't know. Probably. Okay. Within a week of it coming out in theaters, a sequel was greenlit.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
Huh?
He's also gone on to direct Annabelle Creation, one of the movies in the Conjuring universe, and DC's Shazam. So he's on a nice little rise, he's on a nice little trajectory.
That's different than this. And Annabelle.
Rather different, huh? He went from horror to that, but I liked Shazam. I thought that was kind of a fun movie. Very family friendly.
It was, but it's nothing like the last two you just
yeah, no, I know. That's very different. So you asked me a second ago what I thought of it. Again, I teased this in the behind the scenes, which I just filmed like the day after we watched this movie. I recommended they just not watch the film because I did not enjoy it. I really just did not like it.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
No.
Interesting.
So much like what I started to do at the beginning was just to try to figure out who the different actors looked like, because we came to the mutual conclusion very quickly that the main girl there, that she looked like Kristen Stewart. Like she had the Kristen Stewart eyes. So then I started thinking, the mom reminds me of Mickey Rourke. The boy reminds me of Ansel Elgort. Yeah, she looked like a female version of Mickey Rourke in Iron Man 2. I know that's not a compliment, but that's what she looked like to me. She, because she was all like beaten up and depressed.
We've seen that actress in other stuff.
Well, she was made to look bad. Like she made to look like she was just beaten, and that's why she looked like Mickey Rourke.
This is what you were thinking about?
That's what I was thinking about. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't like this movie. I thought once, especially the creature had a name, Diana, completely took me out of the movie. I wasn't scared at all of the movie from that point forward. And really the only one that gave me a slight jump was the one in the trailer, which was the same one that was in the original film. Like, did not scare me in the least. I wasn't very impressed with the graphics. The acting was pretty good, and some of the camera angles were really great. But the only thing that I really jumped out at me as something that was really cool was right before the ending, where the mom's shooting at Diana, and every time the muzzle flashes, Diana blinks, like kind of like Nightcrawler. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
I mean, I didn't hate it like that. So I don't like horror films. Generally, I don't like being scared. But I thought this was okay. I rather enjoyed the story.
Really?
Yeah. Why not? It's interesting, no? Right? So you've got this woman who something tragic happened, you know. She needed to go to this center, right?
Yeah.
And she meets Diana, right?
Yes.
And whether or not, you know, there was mind manipulation or what, she feels she's got a friend.
They pretty much explained that there definitely was. Like, there was some kind of, like, seduction of the spirit kind of thing.
Okay, that's interesting, no?
I guess, but I don't know. It just seems so simple.
Simple?
So apparently the movie started off as more of an exploration of depression and the consequences of it. In fact, there was an alternate ending, a secondary ending where Martin, the kid, that he becomes depressed after the mom's death, and that Diana then returns. And I thought if there was a hook like that, I would have been far more interested in it, because it changes the whole entire meaning of the movie and makes you rethink everything. I mean, there wasn't a hook at all, except for like that little bit of static in the ambulance, and that was just like, that's probably just the generator kind of a hiccuping. But I don't know. I did not find anything really extraordinary about this movie in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, why can't this movie still be about depression?
Well, I mean, it is, in a sense, and then at the end, to battle her demons, she kills herself.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's not sending the best message if you want to specifically make it about depression. I think it started off as that, and then it got kind of worked into a monster movie.
Yeah. I mean, look, is this something I would watch again? No.
No.
You know? But did I enjoy it? Yes. It was entertaining. Absolutely. You know, it was not as scary as I thought it was going to be, for sure. I don't even think I jumped once.
You jumped at the beginning, and then I will say, at one point we got up, we paused to like go to the bathroom.
Oh, that's right.
And I walked out into the hallway, and the kitchen light was off.
Yeah.
And I was
Our kitchen light's never off.
I just looked. I turned around. I was like, "Why'd you turn the kitchen light off?" Yeah. And you look at me, and you're like, "I didn't turn the kitchen light off." And that spooked me. I was a little startled at that point. And then the next day, it was turned off again, and I was like, "Okay, what's going on?" And Matthew copped to that one. He was like, "Yeah, I turned it off. We're trying to save electricity." I was like, we leave that light on."
That's not a very good message to be sending.
I want that light on so I can see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought this movie was more interesting thinking of it from like that psychological type thriller than anything else. Because I mean, look at you can look at the kids, right? And what is the result of somebody so depressed, of somebody so that struggles from mental illness, right? The kids can be okay in the end.
Kids are all right.
Kids are okay. He adapts quite nicely. And I mean, there's one point where his sister's like, "You stay at my house." And he goes, "She's going to be there too." Nowhere is safe.
Yeah, I did like the scene where he was sleeping in the bathtub with the flashlight. Like,
like he's figured it out. He adapted to this horrific situation that he was in. I thought it was interesting that she killed her father, right?
Yeah, which I called.
I know you called it, but right, it was interesting.
Yeah.
It was just...
I mean, it was interesting, but again, it wasn't anything like... It didn't feel special at all.
I thought it was interesting.
It was fine.
Okay, but I thought it was interesting that the mom wrote down that she needed help.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to get out.
Yeah.
Right? But she couldn't say it.
Let me ask this. Do you think the short film, which you watched before the movie, or the movie is better? And before you answer, I want to note that the Cinephiliac, who did supply our book adaptation talk, I forgot to note that.
Okay.
I will make sure that it's noted in the little insert that I'm going to do there. But thank you, the Cinephiliac, for the topic. Thank you for this comment. It says, I thought the film was more decent than it got credit for. The original short film was better, but I didn't like the feature-length version's explorations of depression. I 100% agree with you, and kind of going back to what I was saying and what this discussion has been, I think that the short film is perfect as a horror, as a nice little horror film that does not explore any of the depression or whatnot.
Yeah.
That's completely separate, and I really liked that. It's just straight horror. This is still like, it's a little spooky of a short film, you know. It was nice, a couple nice jump scares there. They recreated that for the film, lost its effect. Although I will say that beginning set, I don't know what that guy was doing. Yeah. I don't know if it was like a laundry room or if it was like a mannequin manufacturer. That was really creepy set, and they really need to work on their lighting.
So I thought that from watching the original. Yeah. I mean, I said to you, I don't know if I can get through this movie. Yeah. And then we started watching the movie, and I'm like, oh,
it's not that bad. Yeah. I think that says a lot.
I think
about
that says,
it right there.
It does. It's not a horror movie. It's not.
So what we've been doing in the video club prior to this is we had the first volume of the first 12 movies. Yeah. Then we started the second volume about 4 months ago, before I decided that we were going to relaunch Drunk on Writing and do this whole bit. So what we have so far, we have ranked. And I want to know, where do we think Lights Out should go within the ranking? I'll read the current ranking as we have it. Okay. Number 4, Nightcrawler. Number 3, E.T. Number 2, El Camino. And number 1, the Back to the Future trilogy. Where do you think Lights Out would go in there? Because I know exactly where I would put it, but I don't want to sway your vote. You want me to read it again?
It's what was the one before Nightcrawler?
Nightcrawler's at the bottom right now. E.T. is at number 3.
I mean, it's below E.T. And I don't know. I don't know if it's not Nightcrawler or this.
I would put it above Nightcrawler, below E.T.
Yeah.
Do you think it should be below Nightcrawler? Because I could be very easily convinced about that. I think they're somewhat interchangeable in terms of their ranking. But let's give it a number. Is it number 4 or number 5? Above or below Nightcrawler?
Below.
Below Nightcrawler. Below. All right, let's do below Nightcrawler. All right, so our new ranking, number 1, the Back to the Future trilogy. I don't know what's going to be able to surpass that. Number 2, El Camino. Number 3, E.T., which I feel like maybe we should flip those around. Do you think E.T. should be number 2, or do you think El Camino? Let's go with El Camino. So Back to the Future, El Camino, E.T., Nightcrawler, Lights Out. Okay. So as we always do, of course, at this point, Kim, it is your turn to pick our film. Yeah, so I'm going back to what I love the most, right? Look at his reaction. Is that musicals? Is it old musicals? No. Oh, good. Okay. No, I mean, I do love those, but I really thoroughly enjoy a historical movie. I do. I know. I love me some historical. Right. Is it The Godfather? Because that's historical. No. No, it's not. Okay. What is it? It's on Netflix. It's streaming on Netflix. Free State of Jones. All right. I don't know what that is. Do you want to say who's in it? Okay. Sure. You want to tell me about it? Free State of Jones on Netflix. Yes. Netflix original or? We don't know. I don't think so. It's a Matthew McConaughey movie. Okay. No, I'll leave it at that. We never go into it. Matthew McConaughey. Yep. Okay, he's done a lot of movies. He has. Is this a new movie? 2016. I feel like I'm playing like 20 questions. Speaking of, we are about to go into our patron exclusive little bit. we're going to play 20 questions with Kim.
Okay.
And we will explain why in just a second. But to all of the rest of you out there, thank you for watching with us. Thank you for listening along. Thank you for joining in on the conversation. For the next episode, I would love to incorporate more comments. Please leave them below. I can't guarantee that they're going to be in there. For patrons, yes, absolutely will. But for the rest of you, it's a crapshoot. But you may have some great points that I want to include. I think it would be fun to have. And if you have topics, throw them out there. If we have a blank month where we're feeling like I can't think of anything, let's go to the pool and we'll pick something. So we'll kind of keep it, kind of fluidic. And please, let us know your comments on this movie. What is it again?
Free State of Jones.
Free State of Jones. I want to call it Indiana Jones. All right, so Free State of Jones. But again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, say all of your love, share it with your friends. Head on over to drunkonwriting.com where you can get more episodes more often. Not more episodes of this show, but you can get extended episodes that include the topic we are about to go into. So until next time, cheers and keep on writing.